Prologue. For every inner child in the world. Hello, dear friends. I have one friend who is walking the same path as I am. My friend and I are twin souls, split from a single whole. One day, this friend came to me, bringing her daughter, who looked exactly like her. Arunta, my twin soul, I need your help. My mother grew up suffering abuse from my grandfather. Simply for being a daughter, she endured brutal violence and was forced to work instead of going to school. In that house, my grandfather was a dictator, and his daughters were not respected at all, neither as family nor as human beings. I grew up suffering abuse from my mother too. My sibling and I were severely beaten every day. The look in my mother's eyes when she saw the young me clearly said, "I wish this child would die. I want to kill this child." She believed that what she did was nothing compared to what she had suffered. And I, too, completely accepted my mother's belief that insults and beatings were natural. The root of it was so deep that I didn't even realize it was abuse until you told me. To that extent, my entire life, even my thoughts and will, was spent under my mother's powerful control. I even married according to her will. My mother had merely repeated the dictatorship and violence of her own father. Still, I vowed I would never resemble my mother's worst traits. I resolved to be a good mother to my child, but that resolve crumbled the moment my child was born. I absolutely could not accept this marriage, which made me so unhappy, nor could I accept the child who was its result. While everyone else rejoiced at the baby's birth, all that filled me was the thought of wanting to die. And I ended up saying the very same words my mother had said. "I wish this child would die. I want to kill this child." I never once spoke these words aloud, but strangely, my daughter seems to know it, just as I did when I was a child. Around the time the child turned 10, I finally realized something. That, for a person who had never once experienced what a good mother is, becoming one herself was a task nearly impossible, truly difficult. That's right, I don't know what a good mother is. No matter how much I studied or read, I just couldn't figure it out. I simply believed that some perfect, imaginary figure I had created was what a good mother was. I had striven tirelessly to become that unknown being, but now it is simply too overwhelming. In truth, I had been ready to abandon the role of mother and run away at any moment for a very long time. But I am holding on, struggling with the last thin thread of maternal love. I am desperate not to pass down this chain of unfortunate destiny, this fate inherited from mother to daughter, to my own child. As you know, my inner child is very young, even younger than my 10-year-old daughter. I am too young. I simply cannot raise anyone. So please, be the godmother to me and to this child. I am truly so exhausted. Hear me, my friend Arunta, my twin soul. Please help me. The moment I heard the plea, I instinctively knew the promised time had arrived. It was both a sacred duty given to me and a chance for manifestation. She and her daughter were, in essence, one with me. the divine had granted me the opportunity to nurture the inner child within myself by entrusting me with the role of a mother. Therefore, the very first thing I had to do was to become my own mother. And thankfully at this time, I had the experiential knowledge that only love nurtures children's growth. Oh, but how could my very small self manifest that infinite love? Moreover, when I looked inside through the eyes of the mother, I discovered countless children left hurt and alone in the darkness. I simply could not turn away from those children who resembled my past self. However, there were things that the power of a single individual could not accomplish. I eventually hit a wall and desperately needed a way to save us all. I prostrated myself at the feet of the divine, offering myself, my friend, and every inner child in the world, again and again. Only then did I realize that I desperately needed a complete, entirely personal healing letter, one meant solely for my own inner child. I immediately took paper and pen and sat at the feet of the Father. I knew that the promised ones would appear there, waiting for me. I also knew no other way, as a regular human being, to manage the overwhelming pain and weight of life they were about to bring. I gave that safe, comfortable place a humorous name, the consulting room at the Father's feet. Time passed slowly. Even after a long wait, when someone did arrive, it was not easy to hear their story. I waited with patience until their mouths were ready to open. Slowly, the adults would begin their stories first. But listening to the children's stories required a patience far deeper than that. Yet, observing that process, I realized that this repeated and continuous waiting was the greatest opportunity to manifest the love of the Mother on earth. This experience taught me that benevolent perseverance and patience are another name for the Mother. For they encompass faith in oneself and the child, a long-sighted vision, observational wisdom, and the ceaseless attention of a nurturer. I simply became the mother, gazing at the child crying deep within my heart. I listened, and listened again, to the child's silence. I waited and waited until the child was ready to speak. Slowly, the child began to speak. I listened to the child's story, truly hearing every word. Then, before I even realized it, the child stopped crying. The child who had spoken little by little suddenly became talkative at some point. I listened to the child's stories again and again, and I helped them organize the things they had spoken. The child then began to grow at a rapid pace. The child who had grown began to make many demands. Yet, there were things I was able to do, and things I was not. And there were things that must be done, and things that I simply wished to do. So, I read this story to the child. At once, the child matured fully. The child is no longer to be found in that place. Instead, one of my own age simply sits there. That self will now leave to find the journey of its own life. I will smile and bid them all a safe farewell. After the long wait, when the child finally finished its story, the healing letter for every inner child in the world, which heals the primal pain hidden within the universality of humanity, came to us. Amidst the countless stories of countless people in various forms, we can discover ourselves. Because we are one, coming from the same source. Therefore, this is the story of us all. We need our own healing letter, one written solely for our own inner child. For the sake of yourself, your child, and all of us, write my healing letter. Through this process, we will all be healed and grow. From your friend, Arunta.